Good morning. Welcome you back to today's lesson. For today, our main topic will be on the features of a web browser window. Last 2 weeks, we were able to know what a web browser is. And we saw some examples of web browsers or browsers. We learned that a web browser or a browser is an application software that is used to access the internet, and is this application that is used to display web pages on most computers whenever a computer is being connected to the internet. We use web browsers to display web pages or visit websites to display their web pages. We said the main function of this application, that is the web browser, is to access the internet in order to retrieve information or to transverse information. Now for today, we'll look at what we can see in a web browser window. And I hope you all know what a window is in computing. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify some features or the features of a web browser window. Now when you talk of a web browser window, we are referring to the window or the rectangular box or the working area that is being displayed on the computer whenever you launch or open a web browser application on your computer. When the web browser is opened, the window that we see on the desktop or any computing device is what we refer to as a web browser window. Now when this window appears, it contains a lot of commands or features that are mostly used by the computer user when the computer is online to access information or to access the internet. Now let's have a look at some of the features that can be seen in a web browser or a browser window. So here are some list of features or elements that can be seen in a web browser window. We have the first one to be the title bar. Now I hope most of you know what a title bar is. Title bar is the first or the topmost bar seen in almost all open program windows. So that's the top bar or the first bar in most of the windows we see on the desktop. And this contains the names of the application and the control box, that's the minimize, maximize, and the close button. The next one we have the URL box or the Uniform Resource Locator box, which is also known as the address box. The next one we have the search box. We have favorite, home button, back button. We have forward or the forward button. We also have reload or refresh button. We have the control box or the Windows 2. The control box or the Windows 2. We also have the stop button. We have the tabs which are on the menu bar. Then we have the menu bar itself. So all these are the features that we can see in most web browsers. And as we can see here, this is what we refer to as a web browser window. This is a Mozilla Firefox web browser, and it has been launched on a computer. So this is how the window of Mozilla Firefox is being displayed whenever you launch or open the application. And as we can see, we have many commands within this window or elements within this window. When we come down here, we have search and this is what we refer to as the search box. We have favorites as a star, we have the download icon, we have the home button, we also have the address box at this section where we have search or enter address. So that's what we refer to as the address box or the URL box. We also have the back button over here. Then we have the tabs. This is the first tab that has been opened. When we come on top here, we have the minimize, maximize, and close. And this bar is what we refer to as the title bar. So these are just some few elements or features that we can see in the Mozilla Firefox browser window. Now let's have a look at this. Here we have most of them. As we can see, we have the search box or the web search. We have the address box, indicating this box where we type in website address. We have the home button. We have the stop button or the cancel. We have the refresh or the reload button at this side. Then here we have the navigation buttons. That's the back and forward button. And when you come here, we have other ones too. We have the bookmark. Then we have the tabbed browsing. So all these are features that we can see in the Mozilla Firefox browser window. On top here, we can see the title bar, which displays the name of the web browser. We can see Mozilla Firefox on top there. Now the corner here, we have the control box or the Windows 2. We'll end our lesson here and continue next week, Monday. But before you leave, make sure you do your exercises and submit them on your website. The first question is, write down 5 features or elements of a web browser. Write down 5 features or elements of a web browser window. So we just write 5 of the elements we mentioned in the lesson. Then 2, what is a web browser window? So you write what a web browser window is. For next week, we'll be looking at the functions of the features of a web browser window. To what we made mention of all the elements that we mentioned. We'll look at how they are being used in a web browser or their functions within the web browser window. Thank you and stay safe. Bye.